Testing.
Kelly, you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
There you go.
All right, there
All
we
right,
go.
Slimmer, it's all yours.
All right, sounds good. All right, so hello, Colonel Kelly. For everyone watching the stream, this is Colonel Kelly I'm speaking with now. He was the team leader for the French TNT forces during the scrimmage just now. How you doing, Kelly?
I'm doing pretty fine actually, despite the heavy defeat, obviously. Yeah, it was fun, definitely fun, and the Bloodbath is definitely a very good team to play with. They are super fair play. They play very well. They are very well organized. So it's a good lesson for us.
Well, sounds good. Glad you had a good time.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so first question. Did you think going into this that you would win the event?
Honestly, no, because our team is rather new. So we are working a lot on the organization. We had a few trainings, but we already knew that we didn't have the level of organization, that the Bloodbath had, because they are an old team who already played RO2 a lot. So their experience paid off, and we kind of felt it would go that way.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you all are a actual clan, correct? Not just a general community like Bloodbath is.
Yeah, we are a clan. Actually, we are kind of small. We have something like 25 active players, so we had to call in a second team to meet the number requirements, the Mad Frogs. That's why the cooperation was a bit complicated sometimes.
All right. When you were doing the virtual coin toss for teams and deciding what faction you all would play, which faction would you have preferred to have gotten?
I prefer to attack generally, so I would have picked US on Waste City, and we started with Vietnamese on Long Tan, so it was fine.
Do you think that you not getting the team that you had wanted at first led to your loss in the scrimmage, or do you think that didn't play a major part?
I don't think it played a major part. It didn't help, of course, but honestly, the main problem was the organization, I think.
Did you like the maps that you played today? Would you have preferred any different maps?
I really enjoy Waste City. I personally enjoy Longtan, but for the team, I guess it was not the best choice because it was kind of fresh for us. So if I had to replay the game, I guess I would pick another map, but it was fine overall.
What do you think was the biggest? Well, you've already listed communication, but other than that, what do you think was the biggest deciding factor in your team's performance during the event today?
Lack of very, very good players didn't help as well, because sometimes we had good move from a tactical point of view, but we didn't have the skill to carry a decisive move to take a position.
All right, if you had to go through with this scrim again, say it's a Groundhog Day situation where you just repeated the same event again, what would you do differently?
I guess I would try to go for the flanks a lot more, and I would try to pincer them a lot more, because what we generally did was to send almost the entire team on one flank, and then if it didn't work, on the other flank, and it enabled the Bloodbath to react with great efficiency. So the few successive moves we had was when we managed to pincer them.
Alrighty. And I guess a question for you specifically. How many hours do you have in RS2?
I think something like 200.
Alrighty. Have you ever played any of the previous games in the Red Orchestra and Rising Storm series before?
Actually, I didn't. I discovered the series with this game, and I enjoy it a lot so far.
Oh, glad to hear. As I guess it also could extend for the rest of the players in your clan as well. Are your other clan members also new to the series, or some of them veterans to the series?
We might have something like 20% of the team who's made of veterans from RO2 and the first Rising Storm, but otherwise it's a lot of new players.
All right. And I'm going to go ahead and take some questions from the chat now and see what they want to ask. So let's see here. Blood Malice would like to know: did your team appreciate the theme that was chosen for the scrimmage, the Revenge of Dien Bien Phu?
Yeah, I definitely like that. It had a nice touch to the event instead of having some random title. And when you look at the results, I think it's pretty historically accurate. It's a good reenactment of what happened at Jinmenfu in a way.
Alrighty. And another question, as well from Blood Malice: are you guys interested in doing more scrimmages of this size or this format, potentially with Bloodbath or other communities?
I definitely am. First, because if I have to speak especially of the Bloodbath team, these guys are really nice, really great sportsmanship. So I definitely appreciate that. And even despite our poor results on a more general level, I really enjoy those games. I think it's really what the game is made for: large encounters, lots of tactics, lots of strategies. And as I told earlier, it's a good organization that carries the day. So it's really challenging in a good way. So
Alrighty.
yes to both questions.
All right. And Yagdwar would like to know: how did you feel about switching to the Bloodbath server for the second map? Do you think that had a serious impact on your team or personal performance?
No, I think if it had any impact, it was a positive one because it enabled us to breathe a bit, to discuss our tactics, see what was going wrong. And it's also, from a distance point of view, we didn't have a lot of lag. So switching to a foreign server definitely wasn't a problem.
Alrighty. Portsoul wants to know: how did you organize your team? Did you have set squad leaders and roles, or was it kind of just free for all, whoever could choose what?
No, we have an organized team, and we have to stick to our squad leaders. Our squad leaders do their best to avoid dying, so we don't have to switch from one squad to another. So
Alright.
on that specific regard, the organization is kind of good.
Alrighty. Hi Sloyer wants to know: what was one of your favorite moments or plays during the game, whether from your team or the Bloodbath team?
The most impressive one was the attack of the Bloodbath on C, on Charlie, on the first match on West City. The combination of artist strikes and flanking move was absolutely impressive. So that was definitely nice to watch, and I think the streamer would agree with me.
It was definitely very impressive. Alright. And Colonial Fungus would like to know: what style of play in terms of tactics do you feel differs between European clans or communities and US clans and communities in Rising Storm 2?
I couldn't give an honest answer, to be honest. We've played PBS a week earlier, and they were very well organized too. And we still only had like something like 4 or 5 games, and only one game against the US clan so far. So it's hard to make an honest comparison. I don't feel there is a lot of difference.
Alright. And Yap Zanem would like to know: what did your team do best in terms of performance, and what will you be focusing on as a team moving forward?
We had one coordinate attack on Longtan at the end of the game, where we stopped attacking the flank and we just spammed the center, and it was coordinated with an artist strike, so we managed to at least contest the point for a while. It wasn't perfect, but I believe that if we work on that, we'll definitely get better results in the future.
Alrighty. And Yagdvar would like to know: how does Bloodbath compare to PBS after facing both groups?
PBS is good. They are definitely better than us, but I feel Bloodbath is even better, to be honest. Especially their commander is really, really good. He fainted our entire strikes. His artist strikes were just perfect, always perfectly timed. So I think they are one tier above.
Alrighty. Biff Butkus would like to know: did any players in the match, whether on your team or the other, get noticed or for doing anything especially annoying, impressive, what have you?
As a squad leader, I was focused on my team especially. I have one guard called Ascot, who did some nice flanking moves. For the others, I can't say, sadly, and I don't watch the performance of the other team, to be honest. At least not the individual performances. And to be honest, I think in this kind of game, when it's 30v30, one guy just can make a difference. We have one player in our team called Uranium, and when we play a random game, he always gets more than 150 kill. Is extremely good. But in such games, when facing a coordinated team, it just can't do that much. It's really the team that carries the day.
All right. Hi Sloyer would like to know: do you have any plans for a grudge match against Bloodbath in the future?
What do you call a grudge match? Sorry.
Just a rematch.
Definitely. Definitely, I'm definitely up for that. We'll have to check our schedule coming January and February. But as I said earlier, it's still very, very fun to play this game, even when you're in the losing end, and even when you lose very badly, like we did on Long Tan. West City was a bit better, but on Long Tan it was it was not the best experience in terms of performance. But it's still fun to play that way.
Alrighty, and I think that is all the questions we have for you from the chat at the moment. So
Great.
if you have any last statements that you want to make, go ahead and make them.
Well, once again, sorry. Congratulations to the PBS for both their performance and their behavior. Definitely a very nice encounter, and as I said, I hope we will have a rematch sometime soon.
Alrighty, cool. Well, we're going to go ahead and drag the Bloodbath team leader in here now. Kelly, if you want to stick around and hear what I have to ask him, then feel free. Otherwise, I know it's late for you guys over there in France, so if you want to take off and get some rest, then, well, it's good having you, and it's definitely good watching you.
Thanks. I think I will go, yeah, because we have to debrief, and as you said, it's pretty late. So, thanks
Alrighty.
for having me.
Glad to have you. Have a good one, man.
Bye.
Alrighty, well now we're going to be waiting for the Bloodbath or American team leads to come on in here and go ahead and we'll go ahead and chat them up. Alrighty, hello Mepher. You are on Candid Camera. How are you?
Hi there, I'm doing pretty good. Just had a couple good games.
It seemed like it, definitely. Alright, so I guess first question here, going right off the bat. Going into this event, did you think you would win?
I was a little nervous going in. I hadn't really played against any of these guys before. Didn't know how they were gonna do. I knew that we had a lot of good players on our team. Like our roster was just a lot of great players. So I was confident in that, but I didn't really know what to expect.
Alrighty. What team did you guys want, or did you want in particular when you were doing the coin toss? Which would you prefer to have gotten?
Well, I got what I wanted. I usually like attacking first, and we got that. So we were able to start the match off pretty well. I was hoping, if we could have a nice dominant offense right off the bat, it would kind of be a symbol for what's to come, signal for what's to come. And we did a good job.
Alrighty. What map do you think your team did the best on?
Well, we were definitely very dominant on Long Tan. Like, we got locked down on Alpha, but I was particularly happy with how we did on Hue City. I think that's a little bit more of a difficult map. Can be easy to get held up on Charlie there, but we did a really good job attacking, and I was really proud of how we did on Hue.
Alright. Do you think that if you had lost the coin toss and not gotten, in a sense, and not gotten what you wanted, that the event would have gone differently?
It's possible. I mean, if we had got the other side of the coin toss, I probably would have picked Hue City to be the first map, and on the Bloodbath server first. I'm not sure if being VC first would have changed much, but generally I do prefer to start off with attacking, so who knows?
Is there anything you would have done differently, either as a team leader or as a team? What do you think you could have worked on during the match?
That's a good question. Our initial strategy on Hui almost didn't work out. The initial plan was to pretty much send everyone across the street at Alpha, just take that over real quick. They pushed out, sent a lot of guys there, and just mowed half our team down immediately. Fortunately, a bunch of guys started going towards Bravo really quickly, and we were able to take advantage there. But maybe would have been a bit more careful at the start of Hui. Can't really think of anything else. We did quite well overall.
All right. Were there any people, or was there anyone from either your team or the enemy team that you or anyone else on the team noticed and made an impression?
Well, the two people that Colonel Kelly mentioned, I think it was Asgard and Uranium. I definitely noticed them showing up on the scoreboard a bit. Getting a lot of kills. I got killed by Uranium a few times, but beyond that, not really. I noticed our squad leaders on the Bloodbath side were generally all doing a great job of staying alive. But with, 30 people on each team, it's hard to pick out too many people in particular.
For sure, for sure. I also asked, almost called him General Colonel Kelly this. How many hours do you have in Rising Storm 2?
Like 1,000 or something. I don't know. A lot.
All right. Also, people in chat, reminder, I'll be taking questions from chat here very soon, so start thinking of them and keep them in your mind, so when I start asking you for them, you can go ahead and give them to me. But next question, I guess. Do you think that you would have preferred to have played on any different maps than the ones you played on tonight? Do you think that Hue City and Long Tan were ideal, or would you wanted something else?
I think they were good choices. Personally, I'm a big fan of Supremacy. I would have maybe liked to get a Supremacy map in there, but I don't think they were. TNT was interested in that for this scrim. So maybe a Supremacy map, but overall, Hue and Long Tan were really good choices.
Alrighty. And I'll go ahead and take some questions from the chat right now. We already have one from Saint Chan. Were you nervous about the possible lack of coordination that the Bloodbath team could have had in comparison to facing an actual organized clan?
Yeah, a little bit. And I was a little nervous to TL at first too, because this is the first real competitive scrim like this I've done. And until a few days before, I think we were expecting someone else to team lead, so I was a little nervous going in. But everyone listened really well. The squads that I said, squad 1, go on the left side, they would do that. I was really happy with how it all went.
All right, and actually, I guess in relation to that, I also asked Kelly about this, but Bloodbath did not have set squad roles, correct? It only had set squad leaders and team leader. Everything else was just kind of first come, first serve, right?
Correct, yeah. Just the set squad leaders and me.
All right. Colonial Fungus wants to know, how did you decide when to use specific commander abilities? What was your general thought process for your tactics as to what your abilities were?
Well, on attack, I usually like to spread out the abilities so I can call one in every 2-3 minutes. Probably the most impactful call in of the game was right when Charlie was starting on Hue City, right as we were starting to attack C. I put up recon and saw that most of their team was on the north side of the map, in the river. So I called Napalm up there, and it got a good angle where it hit the river, and also the second bomb hit the tower at Charlie and just wiped out half their team. And I was able to call that in because I knew people would actually listen to me when I said hold back, because we had a lot of our team waiting on the other side of the river, ready to push after the napalm. On just a regular game, most of them probably would have just ran into the napalm and got burnt. But I was confident that the team would actually listen and hold back and wait for it. And it's a lot of fun to have a team like that.
Do you think your ability to call in artillery strikes and different kind of support at those sort of crucial key moments just comes with experience, or was it more just reading the actual battle as it came to you?
A little bit of both. I've played Commander a good amount on both these maps. I know all the spots where artillery is, where it's usually smart to put artillery. You just got to figure out, when in a game to use it. but it definitely helps to know, like, artillery on the south side of Hue is super effective, or just learning all the good spots over time.
All right. Yagdwar would like to know, did the ping difference on Hue City have any impact on the way you or other people that were on your team played?
Not for me, because most of the time I wasn't running around shooting people. There was probably like one time where I shot at someone and was like, huh, I thought I got him there, but didn't because of ping. But generally, it looked like most people had pretty good ping, like 160, 180 on their server, which isn't too bad. So I would guess it wasn't a huge impact.
All right. Portsal wants to know, or Port Sal, how many members of your team were part of the original roster when you started the event? How much did you rotate people in and out?
Probably about somewhere between half and 2/3, and then a good number of people, a fair number of people didn't end up showing up for the event today, so we got some friends and extras to fill in, which is very fortunate. They all did a good job. But probably at least 20 or so of the team were people we had picked out originally. Not sure 100% though.
Alrighty. Gook Spy wants to know, how do you believe you did in comparison to the enemy team leader?
Well, I think I did a good job. I did a better job on Long Tan for sure, I think. I don't think his artillery was very effective. I think he put it too far behind the point. Hue City was a little bit balanced. I baited out his SAMs one time, which could have had an impact. He did a good job on Hue, but I also was pretty happy with my performance on both maps.
Alrighty. Bloodmouse would like to know, will we ever allow Airborne to forget his moments of shame and redemption involving the crater on Long Tan? If you don't know what I'm talking about, there should be a post in media you can watch later. It was a pretty funny highlight. It was a classic moment of situational awareness.
Well, probably not then. I haven't seen it yet, but that might stick with him for a little bit.
It's pretty good. You should check it out. And to everyone watching as well, go watch Airborne humiliate himself and then nag him about it. All right. And then from Heist Lawyer, what were some of the best and worst moments commanding your team across the 4 rounds that you played?
Well, I mentioned what I think was probably the best moment, which was the napalm call-in at the start of Charlie that hit about half their team. I think that really helped set the tone for that point. Like, Charlie is probably the most difficult point to capture across all those maps we played. So getting a good start on that helped a lot. As for worst moment, on Long Tan, I mean, our team on Long Tan offense, I kept trying to push up to get force respawns for the first few points, but I kept getting shot. So I essentially didn't do anything for the first like 3 cap zones, but the team kind of carried me.
All right. And then Portsol wants to know, would you have rather been on the front actually doing the fighting and being in the action, or do you usually prefer to actually be a team leader, kind of in the back lines by a radio monitoring everything?
Usually just playing the game. Commander's not my go-to. I've definitely played a lot of it. I'm more of a frontline guy, but I had a lot of fun playing TL. I'm glad I got to do it. Probably like, if there were a bunch of people who had been volunteering when this was coming together, I probably wouldn't have been TL. But I'm very happy I did, and very happy it all worked out.
Alrighty. And Subs and Soda would like to know, what is your favorite pizza topping?
That's a good question. All right, so I'm probably gonna get some hate for this, but I am a fan of the Hawaiian, which does include pineapple. It's not necessarily the all the time thing, but some pineapple, bacon, onion, maybe some ham. That's good stuff.
Them's fighting words. Have to see if we get any hate mail here from the community for that. All right. And then I had someone here. Okay. Sainchan said, or is wondering, were you at first going to be the team leader, or was there someone else who you filled in the role for?
Well, when we were initially putting it together, I think we were thinking Sniffly Bread was going to be the team leader. He was the team leader for the Bloodbath scrim, the like against Bloodbath, a couple months ago or a month or two ago, but he wasn't able to make it. So pretty early on, we realized that I was going to TL.
All right. And then I guess final question for now. Portsall wants to know, what do you think was your opponent's greatest strength? What do you think they did the best?
Well, the thing that kind of stood out the most is, so when this all started on Hue City first round, our strategy was to go towards Alpha right off the bat, take Alpha, and then take Bravo. Usually that's how it goes on American servers. You take Alpha first, then Bravo. Their entire team seemed to rush Alpha right off the bat, and they held us there. And we were able to take Bravo first. And I thought that maybe I thought we were maybe in trouble, because I'm not used to attacking Alpha. I'm used to attacking, or having Alpha just getting captured right away. And it took us a while to get into Alpha, but that was a little bit something I wasn't expecting. And if we hadn't captured Alpha, like pretty soon there, we might have been in trouble. Our morale might have started to suffer. We might have bled tickets. So that was something a little bit unexpected that almost went really well for them, I think.
Alrighty, sounds good. Well, that was the last question I had. If you have any final statements or comments that you would like to make, go ahead and make them now.
Guess I just want to thank everyone for showing up today and playing or watching. And the other team, it was great playing against you. I hope we can do something like this again.
Alrighty, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.